Cloudy along the mountains this morning. The rest of the sky doesn't look too bad. Over this way, kind of hard to know what it's going to do, but the other direction, it's pretty blue. Good morning. Oh, checking my trap this morning. That hot dog is gone. I know it's mice. I haven't looked at the trail camera yet, but I'll do that here in a little while and make sure. But them dang mice, you know, people think all they do is eat grain and whatnot. They're carnivorous. They'll eat anything and everything, including each other. Years ago, Cindy used to have some canaries, and she raised these canaries to sell, and and she liked them, so she'd keep a few. And there's my phone. So anyway, Cindy had these canaries, and hot out here. I got to split this firewood here in a second. You sit in here in the shade for a minute, but she had these canaries that she was raising, and the pet store she was working in, she'd sell them through that. And inside of the cage, she had a cotton rope that strung across, and they'd use that as a perch. And it was meant for bird cages. It was, I think, red, white, and blue stripes, or I don't remember for sure. But anyway, what happens with those little birds like that, all of them actually, but the little ones seem to be even more prone, they don't wear their claws off enough, and so they end up big old hooks, and you got to trim them every now and then. And they were getting a little bit long. We're laying there in bed, and all of a sudden I hear one of the birds just flapping like crazy and fluttering around in there. And I figured, well, he's got his toes caught in that rope, and hanging upside down, and flipped the light on to let him loose, and doggone mouse had him. And I didn't know they hunted. One of them mice, it was in the house, and it jumped up on the perch. It had hold of that little canary. And we, of course, chased the mouse off when we turned the light on. Well, that little bird, it died. That dang mouse killed it, and they're like $50 birds. But anyhow, we put a couple of traps out, and we caught that mouse. But until that happened, I would never have thought that they actively hunted like that. So that was a real surprise. I knew they would eat just about anything they can find to eat, but I didn't know they'd go after something alive. Anyway, I got a lot to do today. I gotta unload this firewood and split it. Gotta take a water sample. Tomorrow they're coming to work on that one building. I gotta get all those rocks scraped out from underneath there. And they're barrel racing tonight. Got weeds to chop and the grass down there to mow, and lots to do. Today is the 1st of July. Tomorrow, July 2nd, actually, when you see this, it'll be July 2nd. That's the halfway point of the year. I kind of wondered when it was. I looked it up, and sure enough, it's July 2nd. We're halfway through 2024. So, got to get this firewood in. It's going to be snowing again before we're ready for it, folks. Don't be a grasshopper. I'm actually being a grasshopper this year. I got to get after it myself. Anyhow, get this split. Got the firewood split and stacked and ready for another load. So these critters we got, we've been having so much trouble with here lately. So far, so good. Cindy brushed out Lumpy the Dumpy Donkey. He is a dumpy donkey. I've been asked before what the difference is between a burro and a donkey, because we usually call them burros, and the only difference is the name. The burro is Spanish for donkey. But she brushed him out real good, so maybe he's not going to be quite as itchy. And I don't think he's quite as wide now. He had so much of that loose, shedded out hair kind of matted to his sides. So hopefully he won't do that again. He hasn't since she brushed him. But I don't know, we've been keeping a pretty close eye on him. This morning I couldn't see him. I went and got up and couldn't see him anywhere out here, and got up and walked down into the field, and he was alright. He was just laying down. This little calf, that one's the one that fell in the water that we thought was going to die of him almost drowning, but she's doing really good. She's starting to put on a little weight, and hopefully she'll make it. Cindy talked to the lady we got the two calves from. Sounds like she's going to try to get another calf. They do better in pairs. You know, it's funny, everybody talks about people being racist. Animals are worse. When we had the horses would stay together over here. The burros, donkeys, and the mule would stay together over here. Then we had those two cows. They'd be over here. They separate themselves. It's really kind of strange. They hang out together a little bit, but given a choice, they separate into their own kind and stay away from one another, which is interesting. This is the building I tore those two side fences out of here this spring. They have since replaced all these posts, added all these posts down the center. And what the plan is, they're gonna use those gates over there to build stalls under here for horses and for the beef cattle and things during the fair. But when they did this, instead of digging each one of these posts individually, they just dug a trench down the center and then put the posts in there. And it was a good way of doing it, because now they are all, if you sight down there, they're all pretty darn straight, both sides. There's none of them that are out of line, which is good. But when they did that, they brought up a whole bunch of rocks. The way I understand it, this fairgrounds was all filled in. It was basically a cattail bog, like right there next to my fence. And so it's got a lot of rock in it. And every time you dig, you end up bringing them up. Anyhow, I need to get those gone today. They're coming tomorrow to do some stuff in here. I'm not exactly sure what. But I got this little tractor. This little guy, I like this little tractor. Got a scraper blade on it, and it fits underneath any of the buildings because it's short. This is that one. I've showed it before. It's a Harry Ferguson. Not a Massey, a Harry Ferguson. Looking it up, looks like it was probably made 1950s sometime. The last patent date on there is 1950, so it'd be after that. I'm guessing 53, somewhere in there. Anyway, neat old tractor, runs reasonably well. I hope it stays running. I need that thing. Anyhow, not very exciting, but that's what I'm up to. Bear with me. The summer won't last forever, and we'll be back to having fun in the mountains. Well, this ain't going quite the way I thought it would. When they dug that trench, they made the ground really soft. The sides, let's see, show you here. The sides where they did not dig the trench, they scraped off clean. But in the middle, where the trench was, the ground is really, excuse me, the ground is really soft, and when I scrape it, I just pull up more rocks. Over here again, scraped off really clean. Not real sure what to do about this. Gonna be a lot of work. Suddenly we got a storm rolling in. Holy moly! Tell you what, this year has sure been strange. Oh yeah, look at this. It's gonna be really wet here in just a few minutes. So, I guess I'm done with this for now. They're supposed to be barrel racing this evening. If this keeps up, they're not going to be able to. But they're not coming down here until 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. So, I'll do it in the morning. Ah, man. See you folks tomorrow if I don't blow away to Oz. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hope Cindy's greenhouse doesn't blow away. Holy moly.